90% of our daily activities, like brushing our teeth, are automatic. You hardly give it a second thought, and a lot of the time, you aren't even aware that you're doing it. This is especially the case in regards to your financial management. For today's video, we will discuss 8 money habits that keep you poor. I was very much in debt and had trouble making ends meet before I realized these 8 bad money habits. But once I eventually realized what I was doing, I began to replace bad money habits with good money habits, which is exactly what enabled me to pay off my $80,000 worth of education loans in a matter of years, and finally make an investment with my money so that I could work smarter, not harder. Your actions over time have compounding unforeseen consequences that ultimately shape who you are and whether you become wealthy or otherwise. Because of this, it's crucial to identify any bad spending habits you may have early on and swap them out for good ones. So, click the like button and let's begin. Number 1. Paying yourself last. Does this sound familiar? As soon as you get paid, you pay your rent, utility bills, gym membership, go out to party, treat yourself out to something nice, and you plan to save if there's any money left over at the end of the month. But, as a matter of fact, there's not much money left over to save. People who are financially successful do the exact opposite. They take care of themselves first, that is, they put a fraction of everything they make into their own pockets first, then pay their bills and live on what's left. They place a higher priority on increasing their own wealth than that of others. People who are successful at saving money are all familiar with Parkinson's law. According to Parkinson's law, demands will always increase until they completely deplete all available resources. Because of this, if you have a week to complete a project, you'll probably take all that time to do it and be highly ineffective with your time. Whereas, if you only have an hour, you'll be incredibly focused and effective and still finish the project. Therefore, work grows to fill all available time. And the same is true of money. Regardless of whether you have $1 or 100,000, your spending will increase until it uses up all of the money you have. Your expenses will keep rising until they have depleted all of your funds. Making more and more money isn't always the solution. And saving money after you've paid all of your debts won't work either, because your expenses will eventually rise and consume all that cash. You must pay yourself first before saving money. Treat it like a bill. So as soon as you get compensated, make a commitment to saving and investing 10% of your income, or whatever percentage you can manage, and then live off the remainder. Giving up money habit number 1 will help you stop letting money slip through your fingers and actually start saving some of what you earn for yourself. Number 2. Striving to keep up with rich friends. We always have that one friend who insists on inviting you to fancy restaurants, shopping with them, going on luxury trips, and staying in posh hotels. If you have friends who have greater spending power than yours, it's okay to be honest and say, "Hey, I can't do that because I'm trying to work towards some investment goals right now, and I need to save funds. It's out of my price limit." If they are genuine friends, they will comprehend. Trying to keep up with everyone around you will leave you broke and in debt, because everyone has very different degrees of liking and varying budgets. Friends and people you interact with on social media are included in this. The truth is that, even without factoring in mortgage debt, the average American has little or no savings, and an average debt of $38,000. In other words, a lot of what you're seeing online, such as impressive lifestyles, is generally just an illusion. In fact, I remember meeting someone who constantly shares Instagram photos of herself visiting far-flung locales, giving the impression that she leads a luxurious life full of exquisite adventures. In truth, she owes $20,000 on her credit cards and has no cash reserves or investments. Hence, don't be deceived. A lot of what you're seeing online is fake, and seeking out experiences merely to look cool in photos on Instagram or to other people is a surefire way to go bankrupt. I believe it all boils down to this. Would you rather appear rich, or be rich. You must stop caring what other people think of you if one day you hope to achieve financial independence, because no one else will be able to do it for you. Just learn how to speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to decline invitations, or simply choose better value for money activities for you and your friends, because it's likely that others will respect you for having your priorities in order, and it may even motivate them to reevaluate their own financial priorities. Number 3. Using your credit card for everything to earn miles and cashback. Don't get me wrong, credit cards are fantastic. I absolutely love mine, and because of the award miles I accumulate with my United Explorer card, I haven't paid for a plane ride in years. However, I frequently observe that people use their credit cards to make much larger purchases than they otherwise would have, effectively negating all of the advantages of earning rewards on your purchases. I'm totally guilty of this when deciding whether or not to make a purchase. Sometimes I justify it to myself by saying, well, at least I'll get miles for it, even though I can't afford it. Because of this, the situation is extremely precarious. I pretty much stopped putting everything on my card after realizing this pattern and now do this instead. For every small purchases, such as coffees and cab rides, I simply pay with my debit card in cash. But if there's anything over $100, I use my credit card to get award miles such as treating myself to a spa, hotel accommodations, online courses. But after making the purchase, I will pay it off right away. Like, right away. And I just do it all on my phone. In this manner, it forces me to limit my purchases to those that I can pay for with cash, while still enabling me to obtain those vials and utilize all the wonderful credit card benefits. Prior to doing it this way, I would typically just pile up a balance, then be surprised at how much I had spent each month, because charging purchases to your credit card really just encourages mindless spending, especially if you're using the rewards as an excuse. Therefore, making sure you only charge purchases to your rewards credit card is the money habit to break if you can afford to pay cash instead of just using points, miles, or miles to justify the purchase. Number 4. Having a mess of a budget. Being financially disorganized is essentially another way to ignore unpleasant realities. It's time to consolidate your debt if you have credit cards open everywhere, student loans for which you have no idea of the balance, and a lack of knowledge regarding your monthly spending. So many fantastic apps are available that make it incredibly simple to keep track of all of your financial information. I loved using Mint as an example, and I still do. Your bank accounts and credit cards can be linked, and they will examine your spending and income to provide you with a monthly breakdown of your spending. Additionally, you can add all of your accounts and view your network's history to see how it changes over time. Setup only takes a few minutes. Since then, I've switched to monitoring my finances in a spreadsheet rather than in apps because I'm such a big nerd and I really like my spreadsheets, and I check my spreadsheet to update my net worth each month. It's definitely worth your time. I can then track my progress month by month, which is very motivating, and it also forces me to maintain very good financial organization because I always know where all of my money is. The choice of a financial institution that provides a wide range of services is something else that aids in keeping your finances organized too. The fewer online usernames and passwords you have to remember, the easier it will be to manage all of your financial activities in one location. For instance, I have my personal checking account as well as the majority of my investment accounts, such as my Roth IRA. I had Fidelity, so it was really easy to access all of my financial information with just one username. Betterment is another location that provides a full range of services. It provides a checking account, a high-yield savings account, as well as various investment accounts for all of your financial goals. In any case, with technology and all of these amazing new platforms, getting and staying organized with your finances is a breeze. The key is to simply muster the courage to honestly assess your financial situation. I know that in doing so can be humbling and sobering for some, but without knowing where you are starting from, it's impossible to move forward. You can't get where you want to go if you don't know where you are now. So stop being focused about your finances and instead develop the habit of staying organized and checking your numbers frequently. Number 5. Becoming unconscious to your debts. Nowadays, Almost everyone in our society is in debt. An individual in their 20s now has tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and an individual in their 40s now has a mortgage, a car loan, credit card debt, and may even still be making payments on their student loans. But pay attention. Just because other people are living with debt doesn't mean that you should be doing the same. When I was submitting my college applications, I had the choice of attending USC, a university in Los Angeles, on a full scholarship for my tuition. But I decided to attend NYU instead of USC because that was a school I really wanted to attend. Unfortunately, I didn't receive nearly as many scholarship programs to NYU as I did to USC. And to be completely honest, there are times when I ask myself if I had just attended USC and graduated debt-free. Don't get me wrong, I have no regrets about attending NYU. It's crazy though, that just because debt is so accepted in our culture, I didn't even hesitate to sign away my future to student loans when I was just 18 years old. The bottom line is to avoid getting into debt if you can avoid it by paying for everything in cash. If you can't afford something, don't do it unless you absolutely must and are certain that you will soon land a job that will enable you to pay off the debt quickly. Avoid taking on student loan debt. Don't borrow money to purchase a vehicle. If you're still making student loan payments, avoid purchasing a home. It's simply excessive. Even though America is among the richest nations in the world, it is somehow acceptable to have a massive amount of debt. Living in debt these days is the norm. But don't be content with the status quo. Take the necessary steps to live debt-free. Number 6. Paying more because of poor planning. Despite having so many umbrellas at home, I used to be the king of cheap $10 umbrellas because I was notorious for forgetting to check the forecast and then getting caught in the rain and needing to dash into a drugstore to buy another umbrella. It always costs you money to act without thinking ahead and to be caught off guard. So, for example, having to use an Uber rather than your subway card could fall under this category. It could also be compared to incurring overdraft charges as a result of failing to check your account's balance. Another scheme is to charge purchases to your credit card, which results in you having to pay interest because you neglected to budget for unforeseen costs. No, I'm not talking about YOLO and living in the heat of the moment. But if you constantly have to buy things you already have at home, or simply end up paying more in fees and interest because you're unprepared, then just spend a little more time planning ahead. Even a little bit of preparation, such as checking the weather before leaving the house, leaving extra time between appointments, checking your account balance periodically, and other similar actions can save you a ton of money. Finally, having savings in the bank is what really enables you to live your life as much as you want. Number 7. Paying excessive taxes. Why not try to reduce your tax bill as much as you can give? The taxes will likely be your biggest lifetime expense. There are many tax breaks available to the average person as well, but the majority of tax breaks are for the wealthy business owners and those who own assets. One way to directly lower your taxable income is to contribute to your 401k, which the majority of people have access through their employer. The HSA can be another option to minimize your taxable income, and everyone is qualified to enter an IRA, whether a traditional or a Roth IRA, which are investment accounts that shield your dividends and profits from taxation. There are numerous ways you can begin paying minimal taxes right now, so definitely check out the video I just linked to learn more about how to reduce your tax bill. Number 8. Delaying investment until you have more funds. Putting off financial planning and investing for the future, as I mentioned in my first tip, is a common mistake. You might be considering that you'll try doing it someday when you have more funds, but that is a very dangerous path to take. But most of the time, excuses and procrastination spiral out of control in this situation. There will always be excuses for why you can't invest, including lack of resources, lack of knowledge, lack of time, other obligations, etc. However, the longer you wait to start investing, the more effort it will take for you to achieve the same level of financial independence as someone who began earlier. Someone who begins investing at the age of 20 can become a millionaire by the age of 50 by investing only $180,000 of their own money. Moreover, if they waited until the age of 30 to begin investing, they would need to put almost double as much of their own funds into the market to become millionaires by the age of 50. proving that the earlier you start, the less work and money it takes to become a millionaire. Start investing right away, even if it's only $50 per month. Simply placing your funds in some low-cost index funds will allow you to start investing right away. To learn more about how to choose quality index funds, watch the video below. You can find a ton of excellent investing tutorials on our YouTube channel, so just allocate a weekend to learn and get started. You'll be glad you did. Try reframing your thoughts if the thought of saving money and managing your finances isn't particularly pleasant for you. Taking care of your future self is more important than being strict and depriving yourself. It's a form of self-care, which is enjoyable because it enhances your well-being and improves the quality of your life. If you catch yourself engaging in any of these bad financial habits, just be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself because most people don't learn this information from their parents or in school. The majority of us who practice good financial habits typically acquire them by making mistakes and striving for improvement. Even though I'm giving financial tips, I'm by no means perfect. So a lot of the things I discuss in this video are things that I also need to be made aware of. The key is to be financially literate and aware in order to catch this, whether the decisions you make on a daily basis move you closer or farther away from your financial objectives. And it's never too late to develop good money habits in place of bad ones, or even just strengthen your relationship with money. Please visit my channel if you want to keep the conversation going. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll subscribe to our channel so we can keep in touch with you. We'd love to show you more videos to motivate you and teach you more about money. I always share new financial and investing videos on Mondays and Fridays, so I'll see you then. Same time, same place.